If you have $80 and you wanna start gaming right now, especially in 1080p, I have the right budget CPUs for you. In this video, I'm gonna show you the best 1080p budget CPUs that you can actually buy right now with less money, just $80 or less. However, one of those CPUs is not gonna be $80. It's gonna be a little bit over $80, but yeah, it's still around $80 at some point. And if you're interested in any of these parts that I'm gonna mention in this video, I've dropped the link in the comment section down below. Now, here's my first CPU. For my first budget CPU, I'm gonna go with the Ryzen 5 4500. This is by far the most interesting CPU right now. This CPU is around $65 at the time of recording this video. It's available on Amazon and it's also available on B&H or BH, and you can also find it on Newegg. This CPU is extremely powerful, but it's underrated at some point, a little bit more powerful than the 3600 and a little bit below the 5500. Perfect GPU to pair with the CPU, I would recommend something like the RX 6600 or maybe the RTX 3060 or maybe the RTX 3050, even though most people don't like the 3050. You expect at least somewhere around 100 FPS when it comes to ultra settings in GTA 5, or maybe 120 FPS in high settings, 140 FPS in medium settings, and 170 FPS in low settings. For this CPU, I believe you can play any game in 1080p high settings with the right GPU. So the next CPU that I'm going to recommend is the Ryzen 5 5500. Basically, my favorite CPU is not number one, basically because of the price, but the 5500 is by far my favorite CPU. That's why I bought this CPU, basically because I like the specs. 6-core 12-threaded CPU. This CPU is around an i5 12400F's performance. This CPU can be paired with many GPUs. This CPU right now is cheap as they come. It's going at around $73 at the time of recording this video. A little bit expensive in Newegg, going at around $83.10. But I would recommend that you go and check it out on Amazon. I have the link in the description down below. With this CPU, you can expect 107 FPS on ultra settings in GTA 5, 128 FPS on high settings, 148 FPS in medium settings, 170 FPS in low settings. And again, like I said, this CPU is behind the i5 12400F's performance. And on top of that, this CPU doesn't support PCIe Gen 4, so it's a little bit nerfed compared to the i5 12400F. And the last CPU that most people don't actually recommend is this i3 13100F. I think an i3 13100F is actually the best choice right now, basically because this CPU right now is at $82 or $83 at the time of recording this video. And I will have you know that it's the same price as the 12100F. So yeah, this CPU is a 4-core 8-threaded CPU, but let me tell you something. An i3 13100F is 10% slower than an i7 10700F. When it comes to gaming, these two are basically similar, and i7 10700F is basically kind of like expensive right now. You cannot buy it brand new unless if you want to buy it second hand, and those motherboards are actually old, the one that supports 10th generation CPUs. So yeah, I know out there are lots of people who can afford these expensive CPUs. So in my point of view, I think going for a budget CPU is actually something that is actually very smart, especially if you want to save some cash and don't waste your cash. And again, if you're interested in any of these parts that I just mentioned in this video, I've dropped a link in the description down below. And if you feel like these videos bring value to you, please hit that share, like, and subscribe button. That way I can keep making more videos. See you in the next one.